This episode of Stick Like Glue Radio is brought to you by Jim Palmer's Create Your Dream Business Now Academy, a one-of-a-kind live event where Jim will personally teach you how to market and grow a more profitable business faster, even in a crappy economy. During this event, Jim will reveal how to create a $1 million platform on a shoestring budget. You'll learn how to generate a ton of content with ease, how to attract a steady stream of new customers, and you'll also network with other successful marketers and entrepreneurs. This not-to-be-missed event is September 4th through the 6th in Philadelphia and will quite literally transform your business. Do not miss it. Get all the details and register today at www.dreambizacademy.com. That's www.dreambizacademy.com.
This is John Paffer from Bar Rescue, and you're listening to Stick Like Glue Radio.
Welcome to Stick Like Glue Radio, the only podcast dedicated to helping you create an everlasting bond with your customers so they stay longer, spend more, and refer more. Marketing and business building expert Jim Palmer, known internationally as the Newsletter Guru, is a serial entrepreneur, author, speaker, and coach to other entrepreneurs. Jim is the host of Newsletter Guru TV, a weekly web TV show featuring Jim's unique brand of smart marketing and business building advice. Check it out today at www.newsletterguru.tv. Please welcome your host of Stick Like Glue Radio, Jim Palmer.
Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Stick Like Glue Radio. This is the only podcast dedicated to helping you create an everlasting bond with your customers so they stay longer, spend more, and refer more, and those are always great things in any business. I am your host, Jim Palmer, and I'm committed to helping you build a more profitable business faster. I'm really excited about this week's show because we're going to dive into a subject that I'm not real familiar with, but I think it's going to be great learning. My special guest is holistic time management coach Julie Gray. Let me tell you briefly about Julie, and we'll get her on the line here. As I said, she is a holistic time management coach who specializes in working with overwhelmed and overworked individuals who have tried lots of tools and strategies to get more organized and are ready to find their unique system that will last for them. Julie Gray continues her coach and productivity training through ADHD and mindfulness-based programs. And again, I'm excited to learn more about this. Julie, thanks so much for being my guest this week.
Thanks, Jim. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So talk a little bit about your background so we can get to know you. How'd you get into this? How'd you get into this whole coaching model and especially about the holistic part of it? I'm real curious about that.
Yeah, sure. So my background is actually I was a meeting planner for a bunch of years, and I got really burned out and really overwhelmed, and so I said, I need more freedom and more balance, so I'm going to start my own business, right? What a big, ironic joke that was. So I started actually in 2007 as a professional organizer where I would actually go into people's homes and set up their system, paper or whatnot. And I quickly realized, because I love to work, and I'm sure your listeners do too, I've got that entrepreneurial gene in me that makes it really hard to stop. And so what I realized was that I didn't actually need to change my job, although I was glad I did. What I needed were better boundaries. I needed to learn how to set boundaries around my energy, around my time, and that has been a whole journey in and of itself. So in 2010, I decided my clients really needed more of this support as well, not just space. So I got certified as a coach, and I took a bunch of training in time management and ADHD and mindfulness and all that good stuff. And really what that's involved into is this sort of holistic approach to time management and helping my clients find their unique system. I don't want to give you my system. I want you to help you find yours.
Awesome. You know, boundaries are so important, and I like how you said you work all the time. I think about 3 weeks ago, my weekly video series was called "It's Okay to Be Different," because how come I can't turn it off? As you know, even when I'm off or I'm on my boat or whatever I'm doing, I'm always thinking about work. And I think what I have found is entrepreneurs can sometimes beat themselves up over that, and I'm saying, no, it's okay, because For people who are not entrepreneurs, in other words, whether you're a 9 to 5 or whether you work 8 to 6 or whatever you work, generally when you're an employee, you check out. And you may think about your job or what you got to do when you get back to work, whatever, but for the most part, you're able to check out. But as a business owner, you're always thinking about work. And so, first of all, I wanted to make that observation, but I'm interested to hear more about the boundaries. How do you help people set up boundaries so, first of all, they get more done, but also are able to take some time off and get away?
Great question. I love that you did a bit on why that's really okay. I love that. And it's true. We are, I think, a different breed to a certain extent. And that means that we need systems that really fit how we want to structure our lives. So, I talk about work-life balance, but what I really mean by that is finding your own formula between that work and life piece. And, some people love to say, work-life synergy and work, they're kind of nuancing the term. And what that's all boiling down to is what feels good to you. So I really do firmly believe that when we give ourselves some breathing room, some time off, we actually become better entrepreneurs. And there's actually some really fascinating research behind that. I don't know if you're familiar with Jim Lohr, but he did a study with tennis players, and he couldn't figure out what made the absolute peak performers better than the greatest performers, the really good tennis players. What he learned is that the tippy top people could recover during match points. In that 20 to 25 seconds, they could drop their heart rate. They would have really strong rituals for getting them back in the mode. And that's what made the difference in their real mastery of the game. And I think that the same thing could be applied to entrepreneurs. Taking that approach to mastering your energy, mastering your version of balance, the same way that we're so dedicated to mastering our business, I think is one kind of mindset that's really critical for us to play around with, for us to experiment with. The other thing I would say in terms of boundary management is really getting clear about what your work hours are. You've probably heard of Parkinson's law, that work expands to fill the time allotted. So if we don't schedule any fun, we're just going to work. Work will fill up that time. So I think it's really important for the people listening to figure out when they actually want to work and what formula works for them and gives them enough of that time off so they can come back refreshed.
That's really interesting. How did you come about that? I mean, did you have training? Is this a kind of a learned sort of on-the-job skill? You were able to, I'll use the term in quotes in a humorous way, cure yourself of working all the time? Or, I mean, what brought you to this realization that you can now help other people?
Such a good question. I would say that it's a blend of my own personal development work. I'm kind of a junkie in that realm, so I do a lot of, I'm fascinated with health and wellness and self-growth and spirituality. And it's also a blend of that. It's what I see in my clients. I would say that's probably the biggest, when I can actually see them get more of a life and how much that dramatically improves their business. And then, absolutely in my own life too. It's a practice, Jim. I'm not going to say that I'm great at shutting things off all the time. Absolutely not. But I have learned over time how much better my brain works when I do shut down, when I do give myself that break. And I come back with so much better energy, creativity, and that's what keeps me doing it.
That really is kind of the mindset shift or the aha moment that has to occur for a lot of people. A good friend of mine, Melanie Benson-Strick, coaches entrepreneurs on high performance, and if I say I'm a workaholic, it sounds evil, but I mean I just love what I do, so I don't view it's like, well, it's not work and fun. I totally enjoy what I'm doing, so it's a little different. But she recognized like 2 summers ago that I was working all the time and said, you need to take time off. I said, well, I got a lot going. She says, you don't listen to me. If you do, you will actually get it done and you'll be more productive when you just check out. And so
exactly.
what I did, Julie, is that was on a Friday. I had a call with her, and then I canceled everything I had going Monday. This was in August, and I did something I wanted to do for a while but was unable to. I went to Eagles training camp, Philadelphia Eagles, my football team.
Oh, cool.
And I had the best time doing nothing on a Monday, which is a work day. So this is my old blue-collar work ethic. I found it hard to take off. But not only did I have a great time, I still thought about work. I actually shot a video up there. But I came back so relieved and re-energized. It's really important to do that. And a lot of people think, well, I can't take time off. I got too much going on.
Yeah, I love that. And what you're preventing really is burnout, because it's so real for entrepreneurs that, and I get it. I love what I do too, and it's fun, and I can feel when I've been working too much. I think there's also a piece, and this goes more to the holistic approach that I take, of getting out of your head, getting out of your mind, and getting into your body and being physical and being active. That just opens up a whole other world of creativity when you come back to your work.
Yeah. How did you get to be, or let me ask you this, what does it mean to be a holistic time coach?
Well, I take a holistic lens to the world of time management. How I do that is I really want to look at the whole person. So I put a great deal of emphasis on understanding your best way to manage your energy and even your emotions, your stress. Because when one of these is off, it really doesn't matter, Jim, how good your time management systems are. I always say, don't pay me to help you set up systems you don't have the energy to maintain, because it's not going to work. So we look at your energy, we look at your stress, your emotions, all that good stuff. And then I would say on the other side of the holistic coin, I really don't believe that there's such a thing as a cookie-cutter time management system. There's so many tips and strategies and tools, and it's overwhelming. And what I think people are really craving is how to mold those to fit their life. What's actually going to work for them. And that's really what I'm good at. That's kind of my specialty is feeling into the person, understanding intuitively, and helping them use their intuition. So what are the systems that are actually going to work for you, that are actually going to last and really save you that time and ultimately make you feel in control.
So what marketing strategies, or how do you typically work with entrepreneurs to help them grow their business? What does that relationship look like? From
a marketing standpoint,
yeah. Well, let me, if I can, Julie, if I can clarify, I'm always interested in marketing, but let's go there first. How do people find you? Like, what do you do to, first of all, attract clients, and then how do you help them if you do get into this area of marketing? But I really want to figure out and kind of learn more about how you actually work. So if an entrepreneur does come to you from someone listening on this call, like, what are the steps that you do to help them, achieve more in their business?
Okay. So let me answer your marketing question first, and then I'll just move that right into how I work with clients. I would say probably 80% of my clients come on referral, either from past clients spreading the word or from professionals that I've gotten to know that pass my name along, a lot of coaches. The other 20% comes from speaking, in-person talks, presentations, workshops, teleclasses. I do a lot of teleclasses online, and even just participating in interviews like this. So this is really, I love internet marketing. It's my favorite. Talk about not being able to shut that off. And and so that's really my comfort zone and my sweet spot. But I do a lot of in-person marketing as well. So let's say someone, comes to me and they say, I'm overwhelmed, I'm freaking out, I don't know how to get it all done, and, I haven't stopped working in months and taken a break. So the first thing that I'm going to do is find out how much they're sleeping. If you want a silver bullet, Jim, it's that. How much sleep are they getting on average? And what's the quality of that sleep? We're really going to look at their energy first, And I'm not into...
Just to let you know, Julie, I'm going to get a big F in that category. I never sleep.
You're like,
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I was up at 4 o'clock this morning. Is that good or bad?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not into, and this goes to my next point, I'm not into telling you what to do. I work with a lot of, I would say, slightly rebellious entrepreneurs. They don't want to be put into a box. I'm the same way. So it's about finding out what your version of that sleep feels good. So maybe you're getting 5 hours a night and you're willing to try 5.5. Maybe you're willing to go to 7. What I find happens is people start telling me how important sleep is. once they get a taste of it, they're like, wow, sleep really changes everything. And so we're going to start there. Because it does. It really does change everything. But everyone's got their own level and how they want to work it, and that's totally cool, too. I mean, I work with a lot of people, they work all night, and then they sleep during the morning, or they sleep in the afternoon. I mean, it's what works for you. So after we sort of figure out their energy system, we're going to go really step by step by step. I love the baby step approach to building a habit, and we use experiment to do that. Okay, try 5.5 hours of sleep. See how that, if you're willing to, what experiment, what data can you collect from that experiment? That's really the core process. Then we're going to look at your task management system. Are you actually tracking? Are you getting things out of your head? Do you have a system that you trust? Is another big piece. Well, from there, we're going to graduate to protecting your time and looking at your schedule and finding those time leaks, those energy leaks that we can really seal up and save you so much time. You can apply in any way you want. We also spend some time on that higher level priority if people are ready for it, right? If you're really stuck in overwhelm, you might not be ready to look at your 6-month goal list. If you are, we're going to get clearer on where you spend your time that brings the most results, both in work and in life, and integrate that into your schedule. It's a whole process. It's actually quite fun, and obviously I love it. I love doing it.
Let me ask you a question that I think so many entrepreneurs struggle with, and, it's shiny object syndrome. I'm sure you're very familiar with it. Where you have your 1, 2, or 3 goals, you're working towards them, and all of a sudden you've got, whether you read a magazine, somebody sends you an email, you see something, but something goes, oh, my God, that'd be great for my business, and you want to, get off the highway you're on and go off this exit and chase this thing. Let's get some really magic formula. What kind of secret voodoo stuff do you have to help people with shiny object syndrome?
I love it. So here's what I've learned to do. This, again, may or may not work for you, but I've learned to give myself a ripening period. So if I have that urge of like, oh my God, this is the thing, it's probably not the thing. And that has come with experience. It's like that almost it's almost, I don't want to say desperation, but it's like you think it's a silver bullet, right? You think this is the thing that's going to click everything into place. So what I do is I capture that idea, I put it in my Evernote, or I put it on a list of ideas, and then I will give myself a ripening stage. If I'm still excited about it in a few days, in a week, in a month, I'll go back to it. And I actually do go back to something, but I feel so much more confident that I'm making that decision from a place of return on investment, from a place of a good rationale than just pure emotion.
You know what would
that work for you? I want to know.
It would work for me. But I have my own filter, and this is what I teach my coaching clients. When you have the 1 or 2 or 3 goals that you're working on, and something comes into your peripheral vision, something bright and shiny, it says, look at me, I say, before I look there, I want to know, is this going to take me off my current task?
Yeah.
Is this going to slow me down from reaching these 1, 2, or 3 goals that we've already agreed to? Even if it's a great idea. If it's a great idea, like you said, Julie, put it in Evernote or put it somewhere. But one of the things I think that entrepreneurs struggle with is I really think, and there are some new things. I mean, look at technology, social media, and things like that. But for the most part, growing a very profitable, what I call a dream business, is all about having great relationships with your customers, clients, patients, or whatever. And that is something that there are several ways to do that. But what I think a lot of people look for are shortcuts, and they're looking for something new. Because we kind of know, okay, I know to grow a business I need to do X, Y, and Z. But wait a minute, if this is new, and I can avoid X, Y, and Z, and avoid that long road I got to go down to develop these relationships and build trust and things like that, maybe I can shortcut, the path to my goal or the path to success. And I think that's really what's behind most shiny object syndrome cases, is people look at it as being new, and maybe I should go chase it because it will relieve me of doing what I know I need to do. Does that make sense?
That makes so much sense, Jim. And I think that there's a lot of marketing out there that speaks directly to that potential of a shortcut that makes it even more enticing. I think that over time, I mean, I've been in business for about 7 years, and it took me a while, and I learned the hard way. But one of the things that slows me down when I want to jump on something is just those tough lessons I've learned, that you really got to go the way, stick to your goals. You figured them out. Sure, there's some things that are going to come up to support that, but you're going to learn how it feels differently to you. Something you're going to think about it in a different way than, let me latch on to this and I've got to do it kind of feeling.
Yeah. Well, we're coming up on about 5-minute mark here, and I got a couple more questions I want to ask you. So this is going to be an easy softball question. I want your two or three best time management tips for busy entrepreneurs. And pardon me for saying time management, because I know you don't manage time, but give us 3 really good tips for busy entrepreneurs.
Okay. Let me see here. So you got to cover the basics first. And I already kind of talked about this. Let me just rattle through them really quick here. You've got to make sure you've got a system where you're getting all of those ideas and those tasks out of your head into a system that you trust, one that you're actually going to look at and doesn't become a black hole of overwhelm. So really thinking through how you want to track your tasks is the first step. You want to then, the next thing, if you've already got that nailed, focus on protecting your time, turning off your email, going to a coffee shop, telling your family you can't be interrupted. Remember, you're always training people on how to communicate with you. So setting those boundaries so that you can actually get the work done that's on that task list, that's on your to-do list, that you've determined as your priority for the day or for the week. The people that are most overwhelmed listening to this podcast right now are missing one of these steps, right? They're not getting things out of their head, or they're not protecting enough time to actually get things done. You need to have a ritual in place that's sort of the glue for all of this, where you're going back, you're planning, you're figuring out those priorities, and that actually is going to help you trust these systems better. You're figuring out when you're actually going to do this work.
Now, let me step in here, Julie. I'm going to hold you real quick, because you just gave 2. I asked for 3, but I'm going to actually let you off the hook because the 2 you gave are so awesome.
Thanks.
I'm going to make people go to your website or somewhere to get another one. But so I want to repeat what you said. You need a system for getting the ideas out of your head and into, and I'm going to add, this is my part, add them into your implementation system. How do I get the stuff from my head? How do I get it into action and bring it to market? That's really cool. And the second one you said is focus and protect your time by setting boundaries. Mm-hmm. That's really, really huge. A lot of people that follow me know this already, but I'll share this with the new folks in my community. But I do all my coaching calls and all my interviews and me interviewing people like you, I do them Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I take no calls, inbound or outbound, on Monday and Friday. So those are what I call either my production days, or Jim goes and screws off on his boat day, whatever that looks like. And a lot of times, candidly, I work, but those are days where I know I can work or do something, and I don't have to say, oh, wait, I got a call at 1 or, 10. So that's how I've established boundaries. I work like a dog most of the time, but I work like a dog Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so I can either work on a book, work on a program, or go do whatever I want on Monday and or Friday.
It's a great system, Jim.
Thank
really
you.
Great system.
You can quote me and use that if you want in your teaching.
Oh, I'm taking notes. Good job.
There you go. So if you have a short answer, I'll get one more question in. What tools or resources do you have for people who want to optimize their time?
Whatever works. Is that short enough for you?
I was hoping there'd be some more than that. No, I'm kidding.
You've got to find the system that works for you. I don't care if it's paper. I don't care if it's digital. You know, if you're somebody that defaults to grabbing a piece of paper and writing something down, then work with them. Maybe you need a Franklin planner. Maybe you want to use a Circle Levenger notebook. Or if you just buy his paper, you want to find that digital app. You want to find that fancy software program. But here's the thing. It's what you use. Now, it's very common for people to jump from tool to tool to tool, right? Talk about shiny object system. Go for it. Do that. Keep it interesting, but don't lose the system underneath the tool. Keep getting things out of your head. Keep blocking time to plan. Keep protecting time to actually get the work done. Use whatever tool you want within the context of that system.
That's really awesome. Julie, what a phenomenal interview. You've shared so much good information. I'm sure it's going to be an extremely popular show. How can people connect with you? How can they learn more about you? What's a good website?
Profound like a hyphen, impact.com. PROFOUND-IMPACT.com. I've got audios, I've got tons of articles, I've got a great free e-course on the 7 most common time management mistakes. Check it out. I'd love for you to join the community.
Awesome. Julie, thank you so much for being my guest this week on Stick Like Glue Radio. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, Jim.
Hey, folks, that wraps up this very special episode of Stick Like Glue Radio with Julie Gray. Stick Like Glue Radio is the only podcast dedicated to helping you create an everlasting bond with your customers so they stay longer, spend more, and refer more. I'm your host, Jim Palmer. I'm committed to helping you build a more profitable business faster. Watch for another great episode of Stick Like Glue Radio next week. And until then, keep taking action, keep moving forward, and don't ever, ever, ever give up. Hey, now go out there and do something nice for somebody today. Take care, everybody.
You've been listening to Stick Like Glue Radio, the only podcast dedicated to helping you create an everlasting bond with your customers so they stay longer, spend more, and refer more. Stick Like Glue Radio features Jim Palmer's unique brand of smart marketing and business building advice for action-oriented entrepreneurs. To make sure you don't miss a single profit-boosting show, subscribe to this podcast at www.getjimpalmer.com. If you know other entrepreneurs looking for the fastest way to higher profits in their business, please tell them about the Stick Like Glue Radio podcast. Now go and implement what you've learned and boost your profits. See you next week for more Stick Like Glue Radio.